here to service a Hilo today. This is our Hilo 125. The procedure is basically the same thing for the Hilo 100 or SL. Just make sure you have the appropriate seal kits. First thing you're going to need is a Hilo. You're going to need some transmission fluid. You're going to need a hammer, suspension pump, dental pick, punch, 10mm ratchet, a Hilo tool, a pair of pliers, a strap wrench, a 5mm Allen key, a Hilo seal kit, alcohol to clean everything, fiber grip to put it back together, grease, and lint-free towels. You're gonna need a vise and an oil bucket as well. Once you've got all those tools, you're ready to go. Okay, once you're ready to service your Hilo, the first thing you're gonna do is remove the seat guts. So use your 5mm Allen key. Go ahead and get those unthreaded and set them aside. These plates are usually wedged in. A nice little pop on the desk will get them free. If not, give them a little tap from the backside. Then you can go ahead and get this mounted in your vise. Once you're mounted in the vise, hold the lever open, cycle the post a few times to get all the oil down into this lower chamber. You can verify that by just running the post by hand, making sure it acts like a pogo stick. Use your ratchet to remove the air top cap. Do not go all the way down. You can remove the base plate and spray yourself with oil. Make sure you're only removing the air cap. Once you've got your air cap off, go ahead and depressurize the post. Open your valve and depressurize the second half. Now you're safe to disassemble. You're not going to get sprayed with oil. Use your 10mm to remove the air valve out of the bottom of the post. Set that aside. Then you're going to spray your post down with alcohol, clean all grease or residues off of it. You want this seal head to be nice and clean so your strap wrench will grab it. Place your strap wrench. Break it free. Then you can separate it by hand and remove the outer tube. Go ahead and spray this tube out over your oil bucket. Get all the old fluid out of there. And set it aside to drain. So you'll want to remove your brass keys, pull them off either side of the post. Remove your sleeve and bushing and the seal head. When you take your seal head apart, make sure you're using a pair of pliers to remove the dust wiper. If you use your dental pick and scratch that gland, your post will never seal and go back together. You can use your pick to remove the seal from the back side and rinse that out. You'll want to check the gland for the dust wiper to make sure that there's no dirt or debris in it. Make sure it's nice and clean before you put your post back together. Then you're going to take your Hilo tool, break your base plate free, then you're going to want to separate it over an oil bucket because you're going to make a mess. Set your activator rod aside and rinse out your mast assembly with alcohol. Make sure you get all that old fluid out of there. You want to make sure you hold it slightly level or head up. There's a small hole here, and if you invert it, you'll just dump everything all over the floor. All right, set that aside to drain. Next thing you're going to want to do is actually pull your activator rod apart and clean it. You'll notice on this rod right here that there's some slight sanding marks. If when you open your Hilo up, there's a metal stage there, you'll want to sand that off and remove it. Then you'll take your dental pick and remove the seal. Use your 5mm Allen key to separate the plunger. So you have your spring, base plate, and plunger assembly, and your rod. Once you've got your upper and lower tube assembly cleaned and drained, you've got your activator rod cleaned and prepped, ready to go. You'll want to make sure all of your seals are in the seal kit and you've got everything ready to go. First step is going to be to pack the dust wiper gland with grease. And you're doing this to fill all the gaps around the dust wiper with grease so that it's less likely to let dirt and oil in the system. So grab your dust wiper and work it right into the gland. You should be able to watch the grease come out all the way around. Use that just to lube up the inside of the seal, like so. You're going to grab your large seal head O-ring, place it in the back side, and then you're going to place your mast back into the vise. Add a little bit of grease to these keyways. This will help to avoid ripping the seal when you reinstall. Work this on real gently. Give it a rotation while you're going down over the keyways. That'll also help to keep from ripping your dust seal. Then you can install your bushing, travel stop. Do not install your keyways just yet. So you're going to install your 2 sealing O-rings. Careful not to rip them. Go ahead and give that rod a nice coat of grease. And then when you're installing the rod back into the post, you're going to want to watch this activator lever to make sure you're getting it into the right area. There's a small guide tube in the center of the mast that you've got to get that into. Once you have your rod in place, you can verify that by actually activating it on either end. Go ahead and take your spring, drop your spring on, get your base plate and O-ring and thread those in. You want to make sure you hold steady, constant pressure on the dowel ring so you don't strip it. Use your Hilo tool to torque this into place. This goes to 30 inch-pounds. Then you're going to take your plunger and your 5mm, set it into the activator rod and start it a few threads. Push the lever and tighten this down fully. And you'll feel the activator rod actually spinning inside the post once it gets to torque. Then you'll take your punch and your hammer. Make sure you use a flat drift, not a punch. And just lightly seat the plunger into the base plate. You want to make sure that you're getting rid of any impurities or any inconsistencies in the surface. Once your plunger is peened, you can replace your brass keys. Make sure they're seated. Run your seal head up to hold them in place. When you're placing your lower mast, the X's go on either side. They're in line with the keyways. And then you can tighten this by hand. Okay. Next thing you'll want to do is get the post fully extended. And what you're going to do is you're going to fill it up with the appropriate fluid just to the base of the threads. You can check your owner's manual for appropriate oil volumes, but this is the bleed out method that we prefer. So you're going to fill it up just to the bottom of the threads. You're going to take your air base plate and set it in place. Do not allow this to collapse. Using your thumb to hold that in place, open your valve and cycle that oil down into the bottom half of the post, just like you did when we started. Then you're going to add another 5 to 8 cc's of fluid. Just a little splash. Once you've added that, you can install your base plate. Go ahead and torque that to 60 inch-pounds. And then you're going to go ahead and pressurize the post. What you're going to want to do is run the pump up to about 75 psi. Open your lever and then release pressure down to 20 psi. Go ahead and reinstall your air cap. Torque that to 20 inch-pounds. You'll want to clean your post off again as you need to torque the seal head. Once you've got your post clean, put your strap wrench on and just give it one good little pop. Once you hear the anode pop, it's nice and tight. Then you can go ahead and put it back vertically. Hold your lever open. Give it a couple of slow cycles. All right, once your helo is all done and bled out properly, you can actually grab some fiber grip, place that on the inside of these conical areas. Go ahead and place your wedges on. I like to give them a little rotation like that. It just helps to spread the fiber grip. Go ahead and insert your saddle plates, grease that bolt. And that's how you service a helo. If you have any further questions, please feel free to visit our website.